Namaste, mic check. Today is Garuda Purana, chapter 10. It's 108 verses long. Something like that. Okay, here we go. Ata Tashamotya Yahu Garuda Uvacha Dehada Hava Dehada Habitanam Cha Pipo Sukrati Nam Pada Sati Yadi Pabet Patani Tasya Shecha Mahimam Pada Shri Bhagavan Uvacha Shirunu Ta Kushya Brahma Kushya Mi Salvame Baultaba Dehikama Yatakurtaba Putra Pautra Shecha Mucyanante Paitra Kadru Not Tada Shokam Parityaja Karayana Mununda Nam Sutta Samasitabanan Tabai Shechaiba Pitayam Punundanam Tadam Mata Petrol Murutatau Yana Karitam Mumdonam Hani Atmajahu Sahu Katam Jinyayahu Samsara no bata Rakahu Atumumdonama Bashyam Nakakurukushui Vivajitam Patahu Savan Tabahu Snatva Tauta Vasatranui Tarayat Sadiyo Jalam Samaniya Tatasatam Snapayachachavam Manando Yachachadandanaihu Sragu Pilganga Muratati Sragu Pilganga Muratati Kaya Tata Sragu Pilganga Muratati Kaya Tatava Sragu Pilganga Muratati Kaya Tava Nabina Vasatraihu Sanchadiya Tada Binandam Sadakushuinama Nama Gotrem Samuchacharya Samkalpena Pasabhyatahu Murtitusutane Shavo Nama Tasya Namana Pradapayat Dena Pumilpavet Dushita Tadatishita Durudavatahu Divanradeshe Pavet Pantastasya namana pradapayat tena naipopakhataya bhutakotuishatu bhutakotuishu durgataha tataha pradakushvinam kritva pujaniyah sunushadipih 스카는타흐 부트레너 다다비아스 따다니아이바 니아일바는 타바이흐 다다비아스 따다니아일바는 타바이흐 사하 트르트바 스카는테 스바피따람 야허시마 야허시마샤나야 가츠차티 소시바메 타팔람 부트로 라파테 자 바데 바뎀 니드바 스감테 스바포르슈투에 바 사다 다테나 라리타흐 따다이바 따드르너는 못지에는 따드르너는 못지에는 느르땀 스바비따람 바헤트 따돌 탈말게 베시라맘 사무말지야 푸르크슈여 피우크슈 사무말지야 피우크슈여 까라야트 삼스나비야 푸타삼지냐야 따스마이테나 프라다바야트 비샤자 라쿠쇼사 야쿠쇼 예자니에 티쿠슈 삼스티타흐 다시야 호타비아다이하시야 나이바 요기아트 바카라카흐 따또 니트바 시마샤네슈 스타파에 두드따라 무카무 따뜨라 데하시야 다할탐 스탈람 삼쇼타야디아타 삼말지야 푸밈 살리피오 삼리피오 리키오드 트르티아 삼리피오를 리키오 삼리피오를 리키오드 트르티아 삼리피오를 리키오 삼리피오를 리키오드 트르티아 자 베디감 아피우크시오파 사마타야 바흐님 따뜨라 비타나타흐 두시파 그쇼타이라 차 피알자 차 피알자 대밤 그라비아다 삼지냐까무 로마피아스트바누바 깨나 호맘 구리아디아타 비티 드밤 푸타푸르즈 자가디오니스드 푸타푸르즈 자가디오니스드밤 푸타푸르즈 자가디오니스드밤 푸타푸르즈 자가디오니스드밤 푸타파리파라카흐 무르타흐 삼사리카스타스 마데남 드밤 스발가팀 나야 이티 삼프라타이트바그님 지땀 따트라이바 까라야트 श्री तुलसी काश थोय पलाशाशिवत थादारुपिह चितामारोप्य ताम पुरताम बिरुंदो दिवां तत्रा पादयत चितायाम शवहसते च पुरतनामना कागेशिवारा चित्तामोक्षपुरपुरुतिकam pratattvamupajayate kapitam sathakam prahuh pratakalpapido janah chitayam tena namana va pratanamana thava kare Ityevam Vanchapih Benundoih Shavasva Huti Shavasva Huti Yogyata Anyata Chopakataya Bulvogata Sete Bulvogata Sete Pavananti Hi Pratam tatatva pancha binandonan huttamadaya tam turunoih agnim putrasutada tadyanana bhavata panchakam yadi panchakeshu murto yasutu na katim lapate narah ta hasatatra na kaltavyah kurute nyaparanam Kurutenya maranam pavet adao kurutva tanishitul tame ta는 nakushatra panchakam tanishitul tame ta는 nakushatra tanishitul tame ta는 nakushatra panchakam Rabadyanandam na ta hetatam ta hecha na shupam pavet kuruhe hanil pavet tasya Rakushveshveshu murto hi yah putranam japi Kasachid vikna prajayate atava vakashamatye hi tahah syad vitipul vakah tad vitim te pravakashuyami salvadosha prashanantaye shavasya nikatue takushya Nihak shui pat Putatalam Nihak shui pat tu tatalam satada Palpamayam shacha chatura Rakashamanantara pimanantaritana Tato homah prakalitavyah pahananti rakashanamapih pratajayata manantarena punai homasatu 삼푸떠이허 다또 다하허 브라깔다 브라깔뜨 비아스타이시자 보드달라까이허 사하 사피는 너디바세 고리아드 다시야 샤는 TV 팀 수타흐 딜라바드람 히라누염 자 루비암 라트남 야타그라마무 크르타불남 감시아파드람 다디아드 도셔 프라샤는 따예 에밤 샤는 티비타남 뚜 그르트바 다함 카로티 야흐 나 다시야 비크노 자야타 프라토 야티 바랑은 가티무 에밤 반자카다 하흐 시아드 따드비드나 갸발람 다헤트 사티 야디 바베트 파트니 다야 사하 비닐다헤트 파티브라타 야다 나리 발투흐 보리야히테 라타 일즈차트 사하이바 가마남 따다 스나남 사마짜레트 쿰쿰암자나 사드바세트라이 포셔널 푸슈이땀 쿰쿰암자나 사드바세트라이 포셔널 푸슈이땀 나누무 포셔널 쿰쿰아자나 사드바이스들이 포셔널 포슈이땀 나누무 다남 다디아드 비자티 피오 맘투발게피아 에바자 구름 나마스크르티아 따다 일가체체는 많은 디라드 바히흐 다또 데바라얌 가트바 파크티아 담 보라노메드 타리무 사마피아 파라넘 따드라 시리 팔람 바리그르히아 자 마주잠 모함 바리티아지아 시마샤나 파바남 브라제트 따드라 수리암 나마스크르티아 바리그라미아 지땀 따다 보시파샤이얌 따다 로헤는 니잠 스바바야트 파티무 사키피아흐 시리팔람 다디아드다하마지냐 바야트 따타흐 감가스나 나사맘 지냐드바 샤리람 바리다 하야트 나 다헤드 갈피누이 나리 샤리람 바디나 사하 자나예트바 브라수팀 자 바람 보슈여 사티 파베트 나리 발타라마사디아 샤리람 다하테 야디 아글다하티 가드라누이 나이바드마남 바라피더야트 바히야테 트마야마나남 타두남 자 yata malahu tata nari tahet pam hutashe yamur topame vibiandel satyayukutasya shuddhatel taimayuto narahu yata na dahyate taputalohi pinunduena kahichit tata sa pati samyukuta dahyate na kadachana anantara tmana paltra murite naikatu vama gata 야바제작은el 모르테 파티엘 스트리 나트마남 프라다 하야트 다바는남 무지아테 사히 스트리 샤리라트 같한잖아 샤리라트 같한잖아 다스마트 살바프라야트네나 스바파팀 세바야트 사다 갈마노 모나차 바자 파티엘 지바티 다드가타 모르테 팔트다리 야 나리 사마로헤드 투다 샤나무 사루는 타티 사마 사루는 타티 사마 부트바 스발가 로케 마히야테 타트라 사 팔트르 사히타 수두 야마나 부사로가 너이흐 라마테 파티나 살탐 야바디는드라 시짜둘 다샤 마트르감 바이트르감 짜이바 야트라 사자 프라티야테 고나트라얌 모나티아트라 팔타람 야누가츠 차시 디스라흐 꽃두이올 탈꽃두이 꽃두이올드 탈꽃타 꽃두이올드 타꽃두이 자 야니 로마누이 마누슈에 따바드까람 파세트 스발게 바티나 사하 모다테 디마네 수리아 삼가셰 그리더테 라마누에나 사 야바다 디티아 짜는드라오 자 스발가 로케 지람 파베트 파세트 sorry 보나시지라 유흐 사 푸트바 자야테 비말레 꿀레 파티브라타 두야 나리 타메바 라파테 파티무 야 쿠셔넘 다하두케나 수카메타 드르샴 디아제트 사 무드 자르마파리아는 땀 다히아테 비라하그니나 다스마트 파팀 시밤 지냐 드바 사하 테나 다헤트 따누무 야디 나 시아트 사티 다이 부슈여 따메바 브라다헤트 따다 알테 다그테 타바 볼노에 스포터예트 다시아 와스타카무 그르하스타남 두 가슈투에나 야티남 시팔레나짜 브라부타예 베트르로카남 피트바 다드 브라흐마라는 트락 따드 브라흐마라는 트라카무 아지야 후팀 따또 따디아느마는 트레너네나 따트 수타흐 아까라다 피자 또시 아까라다 피자 또시 스바다얌 자야땀 보나흐 아사요 스발가야 또까야 스바하 지발라투 바바카흐 에바마지야 후팀 따뜻바 딜라미시람 사마는트라캄 로디타비암 따또 가텀 테나타시아 수캄 파베트 니트 더블 체크. 다하다 나는 따람 까리암 스트리 피흐 스나남 따따흐 수따이흐 띠로다캄 따또 다디아는 나마고트로 빠까를 삐따무 브라샤야느니 님 브라샤야느님은 바 바트라누이 무르타카시아 분노는 바데트 스트리 자노그레 그르함 가츠체트 부르슈터또 나라산자야흐 그르헤 스나남 뿌나흐 그르트바 고그라 삼자 브라다 바야트 파트라 발리암자 분지야드 그르하는 남 나이바 파고셔야트 무르타카스타나말리피아 타쿠슈이너 비무캄 따따흐 드바다샤 하카파리아는 땀 디밤 우리야다 할니샤무 수리에스타마가테 땅알코슈 시마샤네 바 짜투시파테 두구탐자 모르는 마에 바트레 또얌 다디아드 디나트라얌 아빠크바 모르는 마얌 바트람 구슈이라니라 프라푸리땀 가시터트라얌 분노일바드탐 트르트바 마는트람 바투에디마무 시마샤나 날라다그 토시 파리티아크 토시 바는타바이흐 이담 니라미담 구쉬라마트라 스나히 이담 비바 짜툴테 산짜야흐 까리야흐 사그니까이시자 니라그니까이흐 드르티예흐니 드비티예 바 갈다비아시자 비로타따흐 가트바 시마샤나 푸밈자 스나남 그레트바 슈찔파베트 울너 수트람 Pashitayitva Pavitrim Paritaya Cha Tadyat Shimashanabasi Pyasatato Shimashanabasi Pyasatato Ma Shabalim Sutaha Yamaya Tuvati Manantreno Tisraha Puriyat Parikramaha Tato Tugutena Ja Pyukushuya Jita Satanam Kageshivara Jalena Sajayat Pashijadu de Tare Tasati Burunan Dakama Sajayat Pashijadu to the Tareta Sajayat Pashijadu de Tareta Sajayat Pashijadu de Tareta Sati Burunan Dakama Sajayat Pashijadu de Tareta Sati Burunan Dakama Gurutva Palasha Patreshu Kushala Yadu Dugutta Baripi Kushala Yadu Dugutta Kushala Yadu Dugutta Ba Kushala Yadu Dugutta Baripihu Samsitapia Murun Maye Patre Shiradatam Guriya Diatabiti Trikonam Sitanan Duilam Gurutva Pomayanopa Lapitam Takushuino Pimuke Tekushu Tadia de Benendo Trayam Trishu Punji Guratia Jita Pasama Tatra Trutva Tripa Dukam Sita Payat Tatra Saja Lamana Chadia Sukham Khatam Tatasatanandula Dulapa Tatasatanandulapa Kena Tati Kruta Samanam Bitam Palim Prataya Sajalam Tadyanam Vishitam Yataviti Padani Dashapanchaiva Jotutarasyam Dishi Prajat Gaitam Vitaya Tatra Satipatram Samsita Payatakaga Dasiopari Tato Tadia de Benendum Tahaltina Shakam Galta Dudu Trutia Galta Dudu Trutia Tatapatram Nitpa Gachechejuja Gachechejala Shana Gachechejala Shayamu Tatra Prakushola Yadu Duguta Jala Dasati Prakushola Yadu Duguta Prakushola Yadu Duguta Jala Dasati Prakushola Yadu Duguta Jala Dasati Punahu Jaljayan Jananda Jaljayan Jananda Nena Jaljayanan Jananda Nena Ta Kumena Visheshotaha Trutva Samanputake Tani Gurutva Jahurudi Masutake Parikramia Namasukuratia Kanganga Matie Vinikushui Patu Anantal Dashaham Yasya Sati Kanganga Toye Dimajati 나 따시야 보나라 브르뜨들 브라흐마로 보나라 브르뜨들 브라흐마로가 드까다잖아 야바다스티 마누슈시야 강은가 또예슈 데시타티 다바드바이샤 사하스라 누이 스발가로케 마히야테 강은가 잘롤미 삼스포르시아 무르뜨딱감 바바노 야다 스포르샤테 바딱감 다시야 사디야 에바 비나시아티 아라티아 다파소그레너 강은가 데빔 바기라타흐 우드타랄탐 볼바자나마나야드 브라흐마로카타흐 볼바자나마나야드 브라흐마로카타흐 드레슈 로케슈 비키아담 감가야흐 바바남 야샤흐 야 부트라는 사가라시아 있다는 파스마 부트라는 사가라시아 있다는 파스마 키아나야드 디바무 부트라는 사가라시아 있다는 파스마 부트라는 사가라시아 있다는 파스마 키아나나야드 디바무 볼베 바야시 바바니 예 그르트바 마나바 무르타흐 강은가야 마스티바다나 데스발갈록감 브라야는 디테 가시지드 비아토 마하라누예 살바프라누이 비힘 사카흐 심헤나 니하토 야바드 프라야티 나라카라야무 따바드카레나 다시아스티 강은가얌 파티탐 따다 디비암 비마나마루히야 사가토 데바마는디라무 아따흐 스바메바 사트푸트로 강은가야 마스티 바타야트 아스티 산짜야나 둘 트밤 다샤가 드람 사마 짜레트 아타 가스치드 비데셰 바네 자우라파예 무르타흐 나 라브타스타시아 데하시제츠 추르 누야 디아디네 데하시제츠 추르 누야 디아디네 따다 다이파푸트 딸라감 그르트바 볼바바트 깨발람 다헤트 다시야 파시야 사마다야 감가토예 비니쿠 슈이페트 다샤가 드라디감 깔마 다드디나 데바 까라야트 사 에바 디바소 그라히아흐 시라드테 사암바트 사라디케 볼노에 갈페 무르타 나리 비다리아 자터람 따다 바람 비시카시아 디쿠슈이피아 푸마오 다메바 다하야트 감가디레 무르탐 바람 감가야메바 바다야트 아니아데셰 구슈이 베드 푸마오 구슈이 베드 푸마오 사부다빔샤티 사부다 빔샤티 사부다 빔샷 빔 사부다 빔샷 빔 사부다 빔샤티 마 사자무 사부다 빔샷 사부다 빔샷 빔 사부다 빔샤티 샤 사부다 빔샷 사부다 빔샤티 마 사자무 아따흐 바람 따헤트 따시야 감가야 마스티 니구슈이 배트 젤라구문 파시자 다다비오 바라나메바 포자나무 갈페 나시투에 그리야 나스티 두구탐 대얌 무르테 시셰오 가뜸 자 바야삼 포지암 다디아드바라 비파드 다디아드바라 비파드 티슈 구마레 자 모르테 바라는 구마라네바 포자야트 사바라는 포자야드 비프라 사바라는 포자야드 비프라는 빠우가는 두에 사브라테 모르테 모르타시자 반짜마 둘 트바마프라 반짜마 둘 트바마프라타흐 반짜마 둘 트바마프라 반짜마 둘 트바마프라타흐 브라타흐 반짜마 둘 트바마프라타흐 사바라토피 바야세나 구두에나 비 빔더는 다디아드 다시 빔더는 다디아드 다샤 그라마트 에까 다샴 드바 다샴 짜 부르쇼트 살가비팀 비나 마하다나 비히 남자 빠우가는 두에 브르티아마 짜레트 지바마네 자 빗다리 나 빠우가는 두에 사마는 두이 삼 빠우간 두에 사피는 더 나무 아타스타시야 드바다샤 하니에 고드 드시담 드바다샤 하니에 고드 드시담 사마 짜레트 스트리 슈드라놈 비바 하스투 브라타스타네 브라킬 티타흐 브라타트 브라크 살바발노남 바야스투리아 그리야 파베트 스바르파 깔마브라상은가 스바르파 깔마브라상은가 그짱 Eight verses left. 스바르파 깔마브라상은 스바르파 깔마브라상 스바르파 깔마브라상은가 쯔짜 스바르파 비셔야 밤타나트 스바르파 비셔야 밤타나트 스바르페 바야시 데헤자 그리암 스바르파 마피 찌차티 스바르파 마피 찌차티 기쇼레 다루누에 구리야 찌차야 브르셔마카디까무 구리야 찌차야 브르셔마키야 마카디까무 구리야 찌차야 브르셔마카디까무 바다다남 마하다남 고다나마피 다바야트 야티남 짜이바 살베셴 나 다호 노다까끄리야 다샤가 드라디감 테셴 나 깔뜨따비암 수다디피흐 다는드 그라하노 마드레너 나로 나라야노 바베트 들이다는드 그라하노 드테쇼음 브레타트밤 나이바 자야테 지냐니나수투 사다 무구타흐 스바루파무 파베나 스바루파누 파베나 히 아타스테 뚜 브라타트타남 비는더남 나이바 감푸슈이 너흐 다스마트 비는더디감 대쇼음 나뚜 노다까마 짜레트 딜타시라드탐 가야시라드탐 비트르 파크티야 사마 짜레트 함삼 바라마 함삼 짜 구뚜이 짜가 구뚜이 짜까바후 다까오 에따는 삼니아시 나스타이 구슈여 볼티비암 스타파야는 모르타는 감가디나마파베히 볼티비아 스타파남 스모르타무 야트라 사는디 마하나디아스타다 다스베바 니하쿠슈이페트 이티 시리가루더 보라노에 사로드타레 다하스티 삼자야 깔마니 류파넘 나마 다샤모티아야흐. I'm gonna take a little break before I go on. Okay. So it's now Garuda Purana, chapter 10. There we go. Chapter 10, the collecting of the bones from the fire. Garuda said, "Tell me, O Lord, the rites for burning the bodies of the good, and describe also the greatness of the wife who is faithful." The Blessed Lord said, "Listen, O Dharkushya, I will tell you all about the ceremonies for the upper body, by doing which sons and grandsons are released from the hereditary debt. There is no need for numerous gifts, but one should perform the funeral ceremonies for his parents. The son who does so obtains fruit like that of the Agnishitoma. Then the son, abandoning sorrow, should have to shave, along with all his relatives, in order to remove all sins. The son who does not have to shave when the mother or father has died, how can he be called a son, the helper through the ocean of changefulness? Therefore he must have to shave by all means, except the nails and the hair of the armpits. Then, having bathed with his relatives, he must put on clean cloths. Then, bringing river water, he should bathe the corpse, and next adorn it with sandal paste, garlands, or the clay of the Ganges, Having covered it with new cloths, he, with his sacred thread on the right shoulder, should pronounce the family name and dedicate rice balls and presents. At the place of death, in the name of the so-called dead, he should offer them. By this, the earth and its presiding deity become pleased. He should make offering at the threshold in the name of him who is become a traveler. By this, the evil ones amongst the tens of millions of elementals can do no harm. Then the daughter-in-law and others should go round it and worship it. Then along with the other relatives, the son should bear it on his shoulder. The son who bears his father on his shoulder to the burning ground obtains the fruit of the whole sacrifice at every step. He who carries his dead father on shoulder or back or hip pays off the debt of constant parental kindnesses. Then halfway, after cleaning and sprinkling, he should make a halt. Having bathed the corpse, he should make an offering for him. Oblation should be made in order that goblins, demons, and fiends, and others in the various directions shall not cause disturbance of that body which is to be sacrificed. Then it should be taken to the burning ground and laid down with its head to the north. Some place should be cleaned there for the burning of the body as follows. Having swept the ground and washed it with cow dung, having taken out some earth and erected an altar and sprinkled it with water, and having placed a fire as prescribed, and having worshipped with flowers and colored rice the shining one known as the eater of flesh, he should make an oblation as prescribed, beginning with Lomen. O thou supporter of beings, womb of the world, nourisher of creatures, this one belonging to the changing world is dead. Lead thou him to heaven. Having thus prayed to the fire, he should make there a funeral pyre with sandalwood, the holy basilwood, and with the wood of balasha and ashwatha. Having placed the departed on the funeral pyre, he should offer in the name of the departed 2 rice balls in the hand of the dead on the funeral pyre. From the time he is released on the funeral pyre, the condition as departed begins. Those who know the ways of the departed call him a seeker. An offering should be made on the funeral pyre, either in his name or in that of departed. Thus the dead gets the benefit of the offering of 5 rice balls. Otherwise, the above mentioned come to disturb. The son, having dedicated 5 rice balls to the departed, and having brought the oblation with the grasses, should give them to the fire if there is not panchaka. Who dies in the panchaka does not attain a good condition. Burning should not be done then. If it is done, another death occurs. Beginning from the middle of Tanishita in the 5 panchaka mentions, ending with Ravati, is not a suitable time for burning. If burning takes place, evil occurs. Harm befalls the house in which death takes place in the rickshaw mention, and some trouble arises for the sons and family. I will explain to you the rights for the warding off of all ills in case burning takes place in the middle of rickshaw. Then one should place near the corpse images Ottarkushya, make of dalba grass, and consecrate it with the 4 rickshaw mantras. Purified gold should be used, and sacrifice performed with rickshaw mantras, with the mantra Prata Jayata, and with lead vessels. Then the burning along with the images should be done, and the son on the day of the offering of the 5 rice balls should perform the pacificatory rites for him. For warding off ills, he should give a vessel full of sesamum, gold, silver, diamonds, and a bronze vessel filled with clarified butter in order, who after having thus performed the pacificatory ceremonies, does the burning, no harm befalls him, and the departed goes to the supreme condition. This is for the panchaka burnings. In other cases, he should burn it alone. If the wife is faithful, he may burn with her. If the wife is faithful and intent on her husband's welfare, and if she wishes to follow him, then she should bathe, adorn her body with saffron powder, collyrium, and beautiful clothes and ornaments, make gifts to the twice-born and to the circle of relatives, bow to the preceptor, come out of the house, go to a temple, and worship Hari with devotion. Then, having dedicated her ornaments there and holding a coconut, and having put aside shyness and worldly delusions, she should go to the burning ground. Having there bowed to the sun and walked round the funeral pyre, she should ascend the bed of flowers and rest her husband on her lap, and giving the coconut to her friends, she should order the burning. The body should be burnt with the thought that this is equal to bathing in the Ganges. The pregnant woman should not burn her body with her husband's. Having been delivered of the child and having nourished it, she may become faithful. When a woman burns her body with her husband's, the fire burns her limbs only, but does not afflict her soul. Just as metals, when smelted, lose their impurity, as also the woman burns away her sins in the fire that is like nectar. Just as in the ordeals, the truthful, pure, and righteous man is not burnt, even by a ball of heated iron. Likewise, she who has joined her husband is never burnt. Her inner soul becomes unified with that of her husband by death. The woman who does not burn herself in the fire on her husband's death is certainly never released from feminine bodies. Therefore should every effort be made to serve the husband always, by actions, thought, and speech, whether he be dead or living. The woman who ascends the funeral pyre when her husband is dead becomes equal to Aruntati and attains to the heaven world. There is she with her husband as highest interest, praised by numbers of celestial damsels, rejoices with her husband as long as the 14 Indras endure. She who goes with her husband purifies 3 families, her mother's, her father's, and that into which she was given. For as many periods as there are hairs on a man, 35 millions, she rejoices with her husband dwelling in heaven. She sports with her beloved in the celestial chariot, and dwells in her husband's world as long as the sun and moon endure. She is reborn in a stainless family long-lived. The woman who is faithful obtains the same husband as before. That fool who, on account of the momentary pain of burning, surrenders this happiness is burnt until the end of her life by the fire of separation. Therefore, knowing the husband to be Shiva, she should burn her body with his. If she not be true or Darkushya, then she must burn alone. He must burn alone. Whether half or wholly burnt, his skull should be split open, in the case of householders with a piece of wood, in that of ascetics with a coconut. His son, so that he may attain the world of the forefathers, having split open the Brahmarandra, he should make an oblation of clarified butter with this mantra. Thou art born from him, may he be born again from you. It is an offering to the heaven world. O fire, blaze forth. Thus, having made an oblation of clarified butter with mantras and sesamum offerings, he should weep loudly that he may become happy. When the burning is finished, the woman should bathe, then the sons, and offer water mixed with sesamum in the name of the family. He should eat the leaves of the nimba tree and recount the virtues of the dead. They should walk home, the women in front and the men behind. Having bathed again at home, he should give food to a cow and eat from a leaf plate, but not any food already in the house. Having cleaned the place of death with cow dung, he should keep a lamp burning there, turn to the south up to the 12th day. For 3 days at sunset or Dakushya, he should offer at the crossroads or on the burning ground milk and water in an earthen pot. Holding the unbaked earthen pot filled with milk and water, bound with 3 sticks, he should repeat this mantra. Thou hast been burned with the fire of the burning ground. Thou hast been forsaken by relatives. Here's milk and here's water. Bathe and drink. On the 4th day, the collection should be made by those who maintain household fires and by those who do not. If there is nothing to prevent, on the 2nd or the 3rd day, he should do as follows. Having gone to the burning ground, having bathed and become pure, having put on a woolen garment and wearing the sacred ring, the son should make the grain oblation to the denizens of the burning ground, and walk round 3 times, repeating the mantra, beginning with Yama Yatava. Then, having sprinkled milk over the place of the funeral pyre, O Lord of birds, he should sprinkle water and begin to pick up the heap of bones. Having placed them on balasha leaves, he should sprinkle them with milk and water, and having put them into an earthen pot, perform Shraddha as prescribed. Having prepared a triangular plot of ground and cleansed it with cow dung, he, facing south, should offer 3 rice balls in the 3 directions. Having collected the ashes from the pyre, having a 3-legged stool, he should place on it a jar with mouth uncovered, containing water. Then he should make for the departed oblation of cooked rice with curds and clarified butter, and sweet meats as prescribed. He should take 15 steps in the northerly direction and digging a hole there, place in it over the jar of bones. Then he should offer over it a rice bowl which destroys the pain of burning, and taking the vessel from the hole, carry it to a tank of water. Then he should several times sprinkle the bones with water and milk and worship them well with sanda paste and saffron. Having put them into a leaf box, touched with it his heart and head, and walked around it, saluting it, he should drop it into the middle of the Ganges. He whose bones sink in the water of the Ganges within 10 days never returns from the world of Brahma. As long as a man's bones float on the water of the Ganges for so many thousands of years, he remains in the heaven world. When the wind which has touched the waves of the Ganges touches the dead, his sin is at once destroyed. Having worshipped with great austerities the divine Ganges for the uplifting of his forefathers, Bhagirata brought her down from the world of Brahma. In the three worlds is celebrated the purifying fame of the Ganges, who led to heaven the sons of Sagara who have been reduced to ashes. Those men who die after committing sins attain the heaven world by their bones falling into the Ganges. There was a certain hunter, a destroyer of all sorts of creatures, who, killed by a lion in a great forest, went to the place called Hell. When his bones were dropped into the Ganges by a crow, he ascended the divine chariot and went to the abode of the Shining Ones. Hence the good son should himself drop the bones in the Ganges. After the bones are collected, he should perform the 10-day ceremonies. Now, if anybody meets his death in an uninhabited place, or in a wood, or from dangerous thieves, and if his body is not found, then on the day this is heard of, having made an effigy of daipa grass, one should burn it alone, as explained above, and then collect its ashes and drop them into the water of the Ganges. And from the same day, the 10-day ceremonies should be performed, and that date should be noted for the performance of the annual Shraddha. If a woman dies in the fullness of pregnancy, her womb should be cut open, and the child drawn out and placed on the ground, and she alone should be burned. If a child dies on the bank of the Ganges, it should simply be thrown into the Ganges. If in another place, it should be buried in the ground up to 27 months old. Older than that, it should be burned and its bones strewn on the Ganges. A gift of a water pot should be made, and food should be given to children. If the embryo perishes, there are no rites. If an infant dies, one should give milk. If a child dies, then one should offer a jar, milk porridge, and eatables. If a youth dies, one should have young children fed. If a youth who has taken the vow dies, one should have Brahmins, along with children fed. When one who has passed 5 years dies, whether vowed or not, one should offer 10 rice balls, along with milk food and lumps of sugar. On the 11th and 12th days, one should perform the ceremonies for a youth, but without the rites of releasing a bull and of the great gift. If the father is living, there is not joint right for the youth, but on the 12th day one should perform the ceremony for him alone. Marriage with women and Shudras is declared to take place of vows. Previous to the taking of vows, with all the castes, rites are done according to age. He who is little attached to action, who is little bound by sense objects, and he who is young in age of body, requires but scanty rites. In boyhood and in youth, in the cat, the bull, and other sacrifices should be performed, and the gifts of land, the great gift, and the gift of a cow should be made. With all ascetics, there is no burning, no water rites, and the 10-day ceremonies should not be performed for them by their sons. A man by the mere holding of the staff becomes Narayana. Because of carrying the threefold staff, they never go into the condition of the departed. Those who know are always free by realization of their own true nature, hence they do not expect rice balls to be given. Therefore rice balls and water should not be offered to them, but one should perform the annual Shraddha at the sacred waters, and Shraddha at Gaya with devotion to the forefathers. The Hamsa, Paramahamsa, Kuti Chaka, Bahudaka, These are sannyasins, Ota Akushia, and when dead, they must be buried in the ground. If the Ganges or other is not available, it is declared that they should be buried in the ground. Where great rivers exist, they should be thrown into them. I'm going to take a little break. It's not going to be that long today. Okay, I'm back. Bhagavad 137. Sushuma Yata Yata Madri Pilgoshirita Matasara Ime Somaso Matasara Ime Rajana Divisapurasha Divisapurasha Samatra Kanantamupa Naha Ime Bam Mitra Varuna Gavari Gavashiraha Somaha Shukra Gavashiraha Ima Yataminan Dabaha Somaso Tatya Shiraha Sutaso Tatya Shiraha Uta Pamushaso Buddhi Sakam Suryasya Rashmi Piha Suto Mitraya Parunoya Pitaye Charurat Charurat Charurataya Pitaye Tam Pam Tenum Na Pasari Mamshum Pasari Mamshum 두하는 띠아들이 피흐 소맘 두하는 띠아들이 피흐 아스마트라 가는다 못봐 놀바는 짱 놀바한 짱 소마비다예 아얌 밤 미트라 바루너 느르피흐 수타흐 소마 비다예 수타흐 넘었을 때 with stones that we pressed out, come, these gladdening drops of blend with milk, these soma drops with gladden you. Come to us, kings who reach to heaven, approach us, coming hitherward. These milky drops are yours, Mitra and Varuna, bright soma juices blend with milk. Here are the droppings, come ye nigh. The soma droppings blend with curd, juices expressed and blend with curd. Now for the awakening of your dawn, together with the sun god's rays. Juice waits for Mitra and for Varuna to drink, bear juice for drink for sacrifice. As twere a radiant colored cow, they milk with stones the stalk for you, with stones they milk the soma plant. May ye come nigh us, may ye turn hither to drink the soma juice. The men pressed out this juice, Mitra and Varuna, pressed out this soma for your drink. Okay, I'm gonna take a little break. Okay, I'm back. Namaste. Samsukara sa kusho tukarano tupul baja tijinya nama devant karvami samsukara semurtikle shahetavo pasanaru pa pipa kahetavo talmaru pa te pulva papa pi samsukrata Parino chashurta nirotashak Parino chashurta nirotashakatiji Panatalma pada pari durashata shacheta talma Parino chashurta nirotashakatiji Parino chashurta nirotashakatiji Panatalma pada pari durashata shacheta talma Teshu samyamaha Samsukara sa kusha tukriya yai samaltaha na cha deshaka la nimitata nupavai deshaka la nimitata nupavai vina desha masati sa kusha tukaranama taditatam samsukara sa kusha tukarano tepul baja tijinya namutu padyate yoginaha paratira piepameba samsukara sa kusha tukarano teparaja tisambedanama 아트레다마 키아남 슈루야테 파가바토 자이기 셔비아시아 삼스카라사 쿠셔트 카라노드 다샤수 삼스카라사 쿠셔트 카라노드 삼스카라사 쿠셔트 카라노드 네. 삼스카라사 쿠셔트 카라노드 다샤수 마하 사게슈 자는 마파리너 마크라마 자는 마파리너 마크라마 마누파시아토 비베카잠 진야남 브라두라푸트 아타 바가바나 바토여스타누 타라스타 무바짱 뭐뭐 파가바나 바투여스타누 타라스타 무바짱 다샤수 마하 사게슈 파비아트 바다나 피푸 따부드 티사트 뜨바나 뜨바야 나라카티리아그 삼파밤 나라카티리아그 갈파삼파밤 두허캄 삼바시아타 데바무슈 데바마누슈예슈 punarutu padiyama sukatu hokayoho gimatikam palabata gimatika mupalabata miti Pagabanan tama batuyam jagi shobia ubacha tashasu maha sageshu pabiateba dana bipu tabudu titu satutuba pabiateba dana bipu tabudu tisu satut buduti pabiateba dana bipu tabudu ti satutubana maya 나라카테리아그 파밤 두허캄 삼바시아타 데바마누슈예슈 punarutu 바디야마 네나 야트김치다누 푸담 따트살밤 두허캄에바 브라티아바이미 바가바나 바투여 우바짱 야디다마유 시마타흐 Pratana Bashit Bamanut Tamam Jan Samtosha Sukham Kimidamapi Tuhakapakushwe Nikushwe Petamiti Pagaban Jaigi Shabia Uvacha Vishoya Sukha Pekushoya Ibeda Vishoya Sukha Pekushaya Ibeda Manut Tamam Samtosha Sukhamukutama Kaivalya Sukha Pekushaya Number 1 Kaivalya Pekushaya 두허캄에바 부드티사트트바시야얌 탈마스트리구너 시자 브라티아요 헤아파쿠슈에 니아스타 이티 두허카루 파스트레셔너 따는 두드레셔떨 타삼 뜰타 산따는 두드레셔떨 타삼 두허카스바루 두허카루 파스트레셔너 따는 두허카루 파트레셔너는 따는 두 들으셨들 타 두학하루 빠스들을 두학하루 빠스들으시너 따는 두학하루 빠스 두학하루 빠스들으시너 따는 또 들으셨 두학하루 빠스들으시너 따는 또 허들을 따는 또 들으셨다 두학하루 빠스들으시너 따는 또 두학하루 빠스 두학하루 빠스 두학하루 빠스들으시너 따는 또 들으셨다는 떨타 삼따바 따바가 바가마트 마트 따는 또 들으셨다 두학하루 빠스들으시너는 두학하루 빠스들으시너 따는 또 들으셨다 타삼 두학하루 빠스들으시너는 따는 또 들으셨다 두학하루 빠스들으시너는 따는 또 들으셨다 산 두학하루 빠스들으시너는 따는 또 들으셨다 삼따 빠가마 뜨뚜 두학하루 빠스들으시너는 따는 또 들으셨다 타 삼따 두학하루 빠스들으시너는 따는 또 들으셨다 타 삼따 빠가마 뜨뚜 두학하루 빠스들으시너는 따는 또 들으셨다 타 삼따 빠가마 뜨뚜 빠라사는 나마바 탐 빠라사는 나마바 탐 살바누고람 수카미다 무쿠타미티 오케이 들으시너 두학하 삼따 빠가마 뜨뚜 들으시너 두학하 삼따 빠가마 뜨뚜 들으시너 두학하 삼따 빠가마 들으시너 두학하 삼따 빠가마 뜨뚜 빠라사는 나마바 탐 살바누고람 수카미다 무쿠타미티 오휴. As a result of direct perception of subliminal impressions, there is knowledge of previous births. Those subliminal impressions are of course of two kinds, the causes of memory and of the hindrances in the form of subconscious impressions, the causes of fruition in the form of right living and wrong living. These subliminal impressions formed in previous births are, like mutation and movement and restriction and power and vitality and right living, unperceived external aspects of mind stuff. Constraint upon these is sufficient for direct perception of subliminal impressions. Moreover, there is no direct experience of these unless there be experience of place and time and cause. It is thus, therefore, as a result of knowledge of subliminal impressions that the knowledge of previous births arises of the yogin. Precisely as in other cases, there is also, as a result of the direct perception of subliminal impressions, a consciousness of the births of others. On this point, this tale is handed down to the exalted Jai Gishavya, who, as a result of direct perception of subliminal impressions, beheld the sequence of his birth mutations in 10 great creative periods. The knowledge born of discrimination became visible. Then to him spake the exalted Abhatoya, who had assumed a body. In 10 great creative periods, forasmuch as the sattva of thinking substance is unsuppressed, in consequence of spotlessness, thou beholdest the pain caused by birth in hells and in the bodies of brutes, coming into existence over and over again among gods and human beings. Which hast thou apperceived to be more, pleasure or pain? Jagi Shavya spake to the exalted Abhatuya. In 10 great creative periods, forasmuch as the sattva of thinking substance is unsuppressed, in consequence of spotlessness, behold, the pains caused by birth in hells and in the bodies of brutes, coming into existence over and over again among gods and human beings, this I troll. Whatever I have passed through, all this is nothing but pain. The exalted Abhatuya spake thus. Are your worship's mastery over the primary cause, and the pleasure of bliss ineffable, are these also to be counted as pain? The exalted Jaigi Shavya spake. This can be called a pleasure of bliss ineffable only in comparison with pleasure from objects of sense, but it is nothing but pain in comparison with isolation, because this is an external aspect of the sattva of the thinking substance, and has the three aspects, and because a presented idea of anything having the three aspects is counted as something to be thrown aside, the dread of desire is of the nature of pain. But by the removal of the anguish of the pain of desire, this pleasure is undisturbed calm, uninhibited, favorable in the eyes of all. Pratyayasya Parichittajnanam Pratyaye Samyamat Pratyayasya Sakushat Karanot Tatah Parachittajnanam. Upon a presented idea, knowledge of the mind stuff of another. As a result of constraint upon a presented idea, in consequence of the direct perception of the presented idea, there arises in the knowledge of the mind stuff of another. Na cha sala salamambanam tatasalamambanam tasya vishayi putatavat rakatam pratyayam janatyamushimi janatyamushimi na lamambane rakatamiti na janati parapratya parapratyayasya parapratyayasyam no. Parapratyayasya yada lamambanam tadyogi chitatena na lamambani karatam parapratyayamat ram tu yogi chitatasya lamambani putamiti. But does not have that together with that upon which it depends, since that upon which it depends is not in the field. The yogi knows that the presented idea is affected, but he does not know that it is affected in dependence upon that. When the presented idea of another is in dependence upon something, this does not become something upon which the mind stuff of the yogin depends, but it is the other's presented idea only upon which the yogin's mind stuff comes to depend. Kaya rupa samyama tadaga grahya. Let's double check the spelling. Grahya. Kaya rupa samyama Kayarupa samyama tetagra Kayarupa samyama tetagrahya Kayarupa samyama tetagra Kayarupa samyama tetagrahya Shakti sitamampe Chakushushipra Chakushushui Chakushushu Chakushushu praka Chakushushu prakasha samprayoga는 딸타나무 Chakushushu prakasha samprayoga는 딸타나무 요게는 딸타나무 삼요 Chakushushu prakasha 삼요게는 딸타나무 Kayasya rupe samyama durupasya ya grahya shaktisatam pratishita pranati grahya shaktisatamampe sati Chakushushi prakasha samprayoga는 딸타나 무드파디아테 Chakushushu prakasha samprayoga는 딸타나 Chakushushu prakasha samprayoga는 딸 Chakushushu prakasha samprayoga는 딸타나 무드파디아테 요기나흐 wait number 3 삼요 Chakushushu prakasha samyoga는 딸타나 무드파디아테 요기나흐 에테나 샤브다디아는 딸타나 무크담 베디타비아무 As a result of constraint upon the form of the body, when its power to be known is stopped, then as a consequence of the disjunction of the light and of the eye, there follows indiscernibility. As a result of constraint upon the form of the body, inhibits that power by which is known, when its power to be known is stopped as a consequence of the disjunction of the light and of the eye, indiscernibility of the yogin is produced. In this way, it must be understood that indiscernibility to sound and to other objects of sense has also been described. Sopakramam, nirupakramam, cha, kalma, tatasamyama, dapara, para, tatasamyama, dapara는 tatasamyama, dapara는 따지냐, 나말이 슈뚜에, 피요. tatasamyama, dapara는 따지냐, 나말이 슈뚜에, 피요. tatasamyama, dapara는 따지냐, 나말이 슈뚜에, 피요. 바. 율비방아감 깔만 니비비탐 소파크라맘 니루파크라맘 짜 따뜨라 야탈드람 바스드람 비타니탐 라키야사 나시야사 나시야사 까레나 슈슈에트 따타 소파크라마무 야타 자 따데바 사 삼비는 두이땀 지레너 삼슈슈예 대밤 니루파크라마무 야타 바그니흐 슈슈케 까쿠슈에 무쿠토 바테나 사마는 따또 유크타흐 구슈에 비야사 까레나 Tahet tata sopakramam yata pa sa evag nistru no rashao evag nistru no rashao grama shovaya beshu nyastashichireno nyastashichireno tahet tata nirupakramam tadaika pavika ma yushu karam tadaika pavika ma yushikaram tadaika pavika ma yushikaram tadaika pavika ma yush tadaika pavika ma yushikaram kaima divivitam sopakramam nirupakramam chang Tatasamyama daparanan tasya prayanosya jnanam arishituepyo peti Tirivitamarishitama tiatamikama tipautikama titaipikam. One more. Tirivitamarishitama tiatamikama tipautikama titaipikam jati tatra tiatamikam kosham sivadehe Pihitaka no na shurenoti jyotilva Netere vashita bhute na pashyati tata tipautikam yamapurusho nam pashyati Peturunati ta nakasmat Peturunati ta nakasmat pashyati Nagatana Peturunati tana katana Peturunati tana katana kasmat pasyat Peturunati tana katana Peturunati tana katana kasmat pasyati. Number 3. Daibikam tatati vaidikam Sabagama kasmat siddhanam va pashyati Viparitam va saibamiti anena va janatyaparanantamupasatitamiti janatyaparanantamupasatitamiti. Okay. Wondering if I should do Bhagavad Gita right after this or just keep going. Advancing and not advancing is Kaima as a result of constraint upon this or from the signs of death, knowledge of the latter end. Kaima having its fruition in length of life is of two kinds, the advancing and the not advancing. Of the two, just as a wet cloth spread out dries in a shorter time, so is advancing karma. And just as the same, rolled into a ball, becomes dry a long time after, so is not advancing. Advancing karma is also like fire set in dry grass, which spreads on all sides with the breeze and burns in the briefest time. And just as the same fire, put bit by bit into a pile of grass, burns a long time after, so is not advancing. This is the karma having a single existence and causing the length of life of two kinds, the advancing and the not advancing. As a result of constraint upon this, there is knowledge of the latter end of the decease, or from the signs of death, knowledge of the latter end. A sign of death is of three kinds, that pertaining to self, and that pertaining to creatures, and that pertaining to divine beings. Of these, a sign of death, pertaining to oneself, one with stopped ears does not hear the sound within one's own body, or when one with closed eyes does not see the inner light. Likewise, a sign pertaining to other creatures. One sees the man of Yama, when one sees unexpectedly the fathers, the departed. Similarly, pertaining to divine beings, one sees heaven or the Siddharthas unexpectedly, or when everything is reversed. By this also he perceives that the latter end is near at hand. I'll do one more and then maybe do Bhagavad Gita or not. Maitriyadishu Palani Maitri Karuna Maitri Karuna Muditati Tisro Pavana Satatra Bhuteshu Sukhiteshu Maitrim Pavayitva Maitri Balam Lapate Tuhakiteshu Karunam Pavayitva Karuna Balam Lapate Bunuyoshi Leshu Muditam Pavayitva Mudita Balam Lapate Pavanatahu Samatiriyahu Samyama Setato Balania Banantia Virianui Jayanante Papashi Leshu Bekusha Natu Pavana Tatashacha Tasyam Nasati Samatiritiato Na Balamu Bekusho Tasatatra Samyama Pavaditi Balamu Bekusho Tasatatra Balamu Bekusho Tasatatra Samyama Pavaditi. Maybe I'll do one more after this. Upon friendliness and other powers. Friendliness and compassion and joy are the three sentiments. As to these, by feeling friendliness for living beings, or in happiness, he discovers the power of friendliness. By feeling compassion for those in pain, he discovers the power of compassion. By feeling joy for those who are disposed to merit, he discovers the power of joy. As a result of the sentiments, there arises the constraint, which is concentration, and from it there arise powers of unfailing energy. Indifference, however, for those disposed to evil is not one sentiment, and therefore there is no concentration upon it. For this reason, since it is impossible to perform constraint upon it, there is no power resulting from indifference. There are the one or two more. Baleshu Hasati Baladini Hasati Bale Samyama de Tasati Balo Pavati Painateya Bale Samyama de Baitare Painateya Samyama de Bainateya Balo Pavati Bayubale Samyama de Bayubalo Pavati Diabamam Pavati Diabamadi. Upon powers like those of an elephant. As a result of constraint upon the power of an elephant, one has the power of an elephant. As a result of constraint upon the power of Bhanateya, one has the power of Bhanateya. As a result of constraint upon the power of the wind, one has the power of the wind, and so forth in the same way. I'll do one more and then call it quits. Prabhuratya lokanya sadhasu kashima vyabahita prakrishata jnanam. Prabhuratya lokanya sadhasu kashima vyabahita prakrishata prakrishata. Prabhuratya lokanya sadhasu kashima vyabahita prakrishata jnanam. Jyotishamati Pravarta Tirukata Manasasatasyam 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 Ya Alokasatam Yogi Sukushima Pa Vyabahite Pa Viparakarashatwe Pa Te Vinyasya Tamaltamati Gachachati Tamaltamati Gachachati. Number 2 Gachachatu Tamaltamati Gachachatu. That's enough sutra. As a result of casting the light of a sense activity, knowledge of the subtle and the concealed and the obscure, yogin, by casting the light of that sense activity of the central organ, which is called luminous, upon an object whether subtle or concealed or obscure, has access to that object. Okay, I'm gonna take a break. I'm also wondering if I should do Bhagavad Gita. So that was 18 to 25 today in book 3. And it's Bhagavad Gita chapter 14. If it's short, I'll do it. If it's too long, I'm not gonna do it. Okay, let me take a break. I've just decided to stop it right here. I think this is enough. I'm trying to fill up 2 hours, Okay. Thank you very much. Namaste. In King Ya Usha's name, God bless you.